Hey everybody, Mr. Stevenson here. Just wanted to go over some information for you. I know we're super busy. It's that time of year. We're about to head out to holiday, and I'm sure the last thing you want to do is have to sit and have a staff meeting. So I'm doing it this way just so I can share some information with you. Understand some of what I'm about to share is things we're working on, but it doesn't mean that they're approved. It doesn't mean that it's a sure thing, but in an effort to provide you information and make sure you have information as soon as possible, hence we're doing this. So the first thing I wanted to talk about a little bit, some of you have already heard me talk a little bit about our accreditation visit. So we are doing a system-wide accreditation. Normally, we would have had you all do a series of trainings prior to this. However, it's very interesting. I've been a reviewer for systems for several. I've done three system reviews, and I've never seen what they said we're going to do. But for now, what they're looking at doing is they're going to actually do for sure a review of our high school, so North Bay High School. And then they're looking at one of the middle schools, and we're not even sure if it's going to be our middle school or North Bay's. And then they've said they're not going to do any accreditation visits with elementary. So with that being said, it's unique. I've never heard of that before. If it happens, in a way, wonderful, right? I mean, we know that there's a lot of great things going on anyway, but it's one less thing that you'll have to worry about. With that being said, I'm still going to send out to all the staff. We have a strategic plan that has been developed. It's very important for you to have information about the strategic plan and where we are going, what our plans are long term. So please review that document. And then there are some narratives that were developed. Trish did a lot of work getting those developed, but it's pieces from everyone. And it's really good. It's a lot of reading, so I get that. But I would suggest you take a look at it because it really talks about our system and where we're headed, what we're focusing on, things like that. So that's the accreditation talk there. They're really, again, just a lot of stuff that you may not have to deal with, but we want you to know on the surface what's going on in terms of our strategic plan. I'm so glad we have one now. So that really lays out where we're headed and what we're doing. And there are some changes in terms of that, so you may want to look at that. In terms of the next thing I want to talk about, which is just Neola. Neola is an accreditation agency. They handle somewhere around 50 of the 67 school counties in the state of Florida and many charter schools. And what they do is they basically have a preset template of a lot of policies. These policies are vetted. They're looked at through attorney and they've been reviewed. And 8 to 6, 7, or 8. And I should have my radio off. And so what we're looking at doing is getting these policies to be uniform. And so right now we've been working, the administrative team, Mr. Bollinger has got us all slated doing some work. And we've met with the reviewers. And in January, we're hoping to take the bylaws in front of the board. Now, the bylaws are related to basically the board interaction. But we are going to be doing administrative, teacher, para, and other policies that relate to our system and how it operates. What's wonderful about this is I think that Neola is very clear and concise, and in most cases, they have the policy pretty much written, and again, that's being utilized in a lot of other places. However, we are different, and so where those differences are important, we are able to kind of still write within our policy the things that we would like to see. So what's really important about all that is when this work is done, you as a staff member will be able to go in and do a search. So if you have a question about, holidays, or a question about calendar, or a question about you want to, find more information, you'll be able to go in the search bar and actually do that. And so I'm really excited about that component because that's long term. And what's really great is if we adopt these policies and they're kind of approved by Neola, then legally they provide us protection. So they actually will fight for us if we are following their policy. So that's another incentive for us to do that. So I'm just really excited about us getting to a point where we have everything codified. It's right there. We can see it. And you all have that opportunity. And so really excited and glad that we're moving that way. Another thing, some of you teachers, so all you teachers would have gotten your reviews by now for last year. In many cases, in paras, it's important for you to know, and other staff members, that in many cases we used a school-wide reading score. and our school-wide reading score has declined. And unfortunately, when you average that in some cases, people went from highly effective to effective. We used that range because it was the best score we had. We know last year was an oddball year. I get it. We know that, but it does bring the focus to reading across the school. So with that being said, we are looking at transition. I'm transitioning here now into this new thing, which is ESSER funding. ESSER 3 funding is now becoming available. We can apply for it. We have somewhere until mid-December to kind of put our wish list together. Ours is already done, and our wish list is all related to personnel. So going back to that reading being so important and the focus, it's not just reading across all grade levels. We're also looking at specific pinpointed data when we look at our, let's say, students with disabilities, when we look at our subgroups across the board. We are seeing some areas that we want to target. So with that being said, instead of buying things, we can buy masks and hand sanitizer and things like that. We've decided to utilize ours in personnel. So I'm really glad to announce that we are going to at least apply for, and again, this is one of those points where providing you information now, this is a wish list. It may not come to fruition, but this is what we're asking for, is we are asking for some teachers, and let's talk about what they will be. So for the elementary side, we are looking for an elementary math intervention teacher and an elementary reading intervention teacher. For the middle school, we'd be doing the same thing. So a middle school reading teacher, a middle school math intervention teacher. For middle school, most likely, those teachers would be assigned to a intensive class, maybe a block class, maybe as a co-teach, so that we could bring those numbers down and you'd actually have some supports. For the elementary side, we're going to talk within your teams about how we utilize a reading and a math intervention teacher. And so it'd just be a great addition. We're looking at a data person, somebody that's going to be working with MTSS, somebody that'll be providing data to administration that will be kind of helping us hone and look at what data we're going to break into and we'll look at and pull apart and all those kind of things. And then we're looking at also, let's see, another teacher we're going to get, hopefully, and again, we're finding this as an ESC teacher. This would be an ESC certified teacher. Somebody that will add to what we have already, will give us more support. We are also looking for a guidance counselor as well. So that's another position that we're hoping that gets funded, with all the social emotional needs that students have now. It can never be enough. So having a guidance counselor on deck would be great. And then we're looking at a STEM or STEAM teacher is working with Ms. Weaver and Ms. Purdy, kind of in the middle, maybe somebody to coordinate our planetarium, the virtual reality goggles, the 3D printers, to help with STEAM nights, things like that. So in terms of teachers, we're looking at an addition of 8 teachers, not attached to classes, generally speaking, except for our intervention teachers. We talked about the ESC a little bit. Where that's important for you to know is that we are making some movement in ESC. I'm going to have Miss Murray and her crew are going to be headed into Mr. Eves' classroom in the middle school. And Mr. Eves has been kind enough to accept the opportunity to come into the media center. And he'll be behind the gray curtain, if you will, but he will be there. This allows ESC to have some space for themselves that they've needed for a long time. This will allow our middle school students not to have to travel around and come over to the media center. This also allows us, where Miss Murray's office was, we'll be utilizing that as I call it ISS, but I know there's an SRC terminology too. Basically a room where we can house students either before we need a BIT team intervention, hopefully that pre-intervention, or on days we don't have somebody in there, perhaps we could be using that room for pull-out or strategies, one-on-one interventions, things like that. So it's great. We have a space. And it's important for me because I'm a big believer in ISS more than I am OSS. When you OSS somebody, they get to sleep in, generally speaking. They don't have to follow a schedule. I like the ISS, and now having it in a room that's locked away the way they are now, they're able to sit in the media center and see what's going on. So we've made a movement from having them in the classroom in ISS to a media center to now an actual room with an attendant in there. We're looking at about 6 to 8 paras, depending. These are additions too. They would be doing everything from assisting with copies to helping in classrooms, to doing some tutoring, to, as you know, paras do so much for us and they're so valuable. So that's kind of the ESSER and ESE movement that we're talking about and what we're hoping to get. Again, this is a wish list. These positions are for, we're hoping they'll be approved early January. We're hoping to hire soon thereafter, and those positions would last for 2 school years. If somebody on staff is inclined or has an interest in perhaps one of those, that's wonderful. I'll be glad to talk to you about it when we start posting, or even before if you have questions. But I want you to know that it is a 2-year grant funded, which means it will end. So just as we are blessed now to have our 7 ESSER positions, we'll have our 7, we'll have our 15 or 16 new. So we'll have over 20 staff members that are here assisting us, which will be just a wonderful bonus. Of course, that means in 2 years from now, we won't have those positions, and we will have a lot of shifting and responsibilities to pull back. But we are blessed to have this as an opportunity. With that being said, again, I want you to always know that you are welcome to call me, text me, come by and see me, have me come talk to you in your classroom. We do want to communicate a lot with you all. We want the school to be the best that it can be. We're working real hard to that nature and trying to do that. For now, I don't want to make this too long-winded. The whole point was for you to have this. This will be attached. Should be a link within an email for you. And in that email, you'll also have those documents I talked about, the strategic plan and the 3 different narratives about our school. So take a look at all those. And, just thank you all so much. I am blessed to be here, blessed to work with such great people. And we are at Friday. We're right now, for me, it's about 12:25, 12:30. So we're just a few hours out from school being dismissed. How about we do something great? Let's give you a little something exciting. How about we do Jeans to January? How about that? So that when you come back, let's just float into jeans if you'd like to wear that. Hey, and the other thing I want to mention to you, we've got some exciting things coming up. Starting probably Wednesday of the day we come back, and we'll come back on Monday, probably around Wednesday, but this is still, we're working on it. More information to be out there. The stage has been decorated as most kind of a nice interior of a Christmassy kind of home. And we are setting this up so that we can do some reading. And so we're going to have classes where you can sign up, elementary, come over, and you're going to have a mystery reader so that somebody will have selected a book for you all, and then we'll have a guest reader. Who knows who it will be? And so that'll make it a lot of fun for the kids. We'll record some of those. I'd like to put some on the sign, some on our social media, things like that. In terms of of that, it'll be great because we'll have some parents. We'll have the Haven staff. We expect some of our own staff will make pop-up surprises there. So really excited about that. And then I wanted to talk about the tech a little bit. So many people are asking about the virtual reality setup that we have. That's actually out in the middle school now. It's been out there for quite a while. It's been being used quite a bit. If you have interest in that, please let me know. The planetarium, we're looking to probably set up that gap time once we come back, especially towards the end of December. We'll set up some days. I'm sorry that it hasn't happened yet. It is just like everything else. We're all busy, and getting that set up requires movement of the PE folks and all that. So there's just a lot more moving to it. But anyway, thank you all. You're amazing, great staff. And again, just so blessed to be here. Thank you all so much. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you later.